Hey guys, how is it going? It's your boy Gazza9919 here, and today this is going to be a bit of a slower video than the others, but I'm just going to be basically talking about what is to come with the channel, what sort of parts I've bought and things like that. So, the first thing I bought is actually from Norman, and this is a rocker cover gasket. Now, I've been meaning to get around to this for a while. I haven't really rushed it too much because the leak isn't crazy bad, but it definitely needs doing on Norman. And that is pretty much the only real part that I've got for Norman. The rest of stuff is for Dennis, and I've still got to get a few more bits. Obviously, you'll have to excuse me on this next one, because don't be deceived by the big box, because it's not that big of an item really. Rear brake lines. So these, I've been a bit of a lazy person and bought these already flared and bent, and they've got all the stuff on them. So yeah, like these only cost me £30, so I think, you know what, why not? For the sake of £30, why not? Save all the hassle of having to shape the brake line and flare it when I haven't even got the tool. So I bought the rear brake lines for Dennis, and a part that I don't have but I do want to get at some point is the rear brake shoes and the rear brake cylinder. I haven't got them yet, but it is time to come, because at the moment Dennis is being stored somewhere for a short period of time just while I sort of figure stuff out. The next thing though, the next part is suspension components. So we have the drop link, and of course, say suspension, more handling components, you know. And we also have, obviously I've got two of these, I haven't just bought one, I'm not that insane. We also have the track rod ends. So we'll have to see if those are the right parts or not, because I did get them from Euro Car Parts, and as many of you may or may not know, Euro Car Parts are somewhat horrendous when it comes to supplying parts. As you know, you'll buy a spark plug or something and they'll end up giving you a bloody gearbox. You know, that's what it seems like it's come across as. I didn't used to have a problem with them, but now all of a sudden they've just gone down the pan, and even before lockdown they played up a bit, but that's enough of that. I'm not going to go too far into that. So obviously there are missing parts, well, not quite missing parts, and I'm missing off the car, but bits that I ideally do want, as well as these like track rod ends and the drop links, and that is the suspension. I want all round new springs and shocks, because Dennis handles like an absolute boat at the minute, and you don't drive down the road, you just sort of bob up and down the road. It's like that. And in the corners, you can literally, you could probably jump from one lane to the other. That's how bad it is. It's like space hopper status. Right then, so it's all well and good buying all these new parts, but I thought I need some tools, some things to help me operate safer and more efficient. So you may have seen in the video where I did the clutch master cylinder that I bought a new toolbox. So, here's it done. Obviously, just a bit of a closer look. We have when it opens somehow. Oh yeah, of course it has side clips. I always forget about the side clips. We have the Helfer's Advanced kit, which is just sort of, you know, you got your impact sockets, your spanners, and your different range wrenches and stuff like that. It even comes with a breaker bar, which is quite handy for those bolts that just don't want to move. So now it's a case where I'll either round them off or I'll snap them. So you can't really complain with that. The next thing on the list that I have bought to sort of give myself a safer working environment is small trolley jack. Because if you notice, for a lot of the videos where I work on underneath the car, I'm just using that little jack that's with the car, and that is really not safe, and I really shouldn't have been doing that. But now I can operate a lot safer. The next thing to improve safety is having the trolley jacks, one thing, but the car still is somewhat not stable. It is stable, but it's sort of, you know, it could be safer. That's why I invested in these jack stands. These were reasonably cheap and can hold up to 2 tons, so I figured, yeah, this will do for me, because I'm no way going to be lifting anything more than 2 tons anytime in the near future. Also, another thing that goes under the title of safety are these wheel chocks. Now, I know these aren't exactly essential, but the way I see it is, say, if I'm working on a flat surface even, and I need to do some rear brakes, because obviously as you can see with Dennis, I've got plans to do the rear brakes. I've got the new rear brake lines, plan to get the new rear brake shoes and the brake cylinder as well, so obviously the handbrake can't be on. So I decided get these puppies, cram them under the wheel, and then the car's not going to go anywhere. The next thing I decided to purchase is something that just sort of for peace of mind is a nice torque wrench. This was a bit pricey, obviously as a torque wrench is, but it's quite a beefy unit to be fair for what it is, and it weighs quite a reasonable amount. But I just figure with me wanting to do bits with the engine and things like that, it's just nice to make sure bolts are torqued down to factory requirements. Oh, and just to add, a certain somebody bought me this, quite nice of them. So yeah, nice little light. I'm not going to turn it on because I don't want to blind you. But yeah, it's a nice little light for under the car, magnetic, so it'll be quite decent. So that is it for looking at the parts for Dennis and Norman for the future, and more than anything, the tools that will help me to achieve it, to do the job correctly, because I don't just want to chuck everything together and just go, that'll do, you know. I want to make sure everything is done perfectly. And also with all the safety stuff, I just think about it, and I think I've been lucky so far, because obviously using the little car stand for just changing the wheel, the one that you get with the car, that's I really shouldn't have been doing that, and I really have been lucky, and I've overlooked it these past couple of years, because, you know, realistically, if you're working on or under a car and that car drops on you, you're done for. But I mean, most of the time anyway, even when I do use that, I do always stick a wheel underneath so that I've got like survival area if that jack does fail. But I guess it's just better to avoid using that altogether and use a proper, nice and sturdy trolley jack like the one I've got. But that is it for this video, guys. I know it's been a bit of a slow one compared to the ones that have recently been up, but I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy it, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and maybe even hit that bell icon for the notifications of future uploads. But until the next time, guys, peace.